Hello and welcome to the Fresh and Live Mama's Easy Make Kitchen series, and today I'm going to be making midnight carob cashew cookies, and these are one of my favourite cookies to make. So I've got these ingredients here that are going to go into the cookies. I'm going to put in some cashew flour, just over a cup's worth, maybe a cup and a half, put that into the bowl. And then some oats. Now if you want to, you can mill these oats so they're very fine flour, or you can just put them in like this. I like to have a bit of an oaty texture to my cookie. And then just a tiny pinch of salt. I've used Himalayan pink salt here. Sea salt is another good one, but never table salt because it's so refined. Then a few drops of vanilla extract, and you can either use vanilla extract or you can get a whole vanilla pod and scrape out the seeds of the pod, which is really, oh, it smells so lovely, vanilla pods, but I don't have any to hand today. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some carob powder in, and this is raw carob powder, and it's just delicious. It's so much nicer than the toasted variety that you can get from various health food shops. It really doesn't taste good, the toasted stuff. This is raw and it's lovely. So carob powder, then a little bit of lucuma powder, which is a Peruvian fruit, and we're very lucky to be able to get the powder over here in the UK. I'm just going to put 2 tablespoons of lucuma. And now for the absolute delicious sweetener. I came across this from Detox Your World, and it's carob nectar. Oh, it's just amazing. So I'm going to put in 3, maybe 4 tablespoons of this, and just look at it. It's syrupy, it's virtually black, it's gorgeous. And it tastes very rich and almost like molasses. I really like molasses, but when you mix it with other things, it just has this delicious, rich, caramelly, decadent flavour. Maybe I put 4 in there, I don't know, but that's good. That's all good. And now just for the last ingredient, before I start mixing this all up, just a little bit of coconut butter. And it doesn't have to be melted, I'm just going to massage this in really to the mixture. And then just to make it all mix a little bit better, just got about 2 tablespoons of water. Put this in, and now I'm going to mix this all up. Okay, this is the fun part, getting my fingers into the mixture and mixing it up, massaging in that coconut butter, and it's very sticky. And if it's too sticky, if you put too much water in, then you could always add a little bit more cashew flour or carob flour. And with the cashews, with the cashew nuts, this time I actually ground them before, so I put them in the blender. I've got a high-speed blender, and it's sort of turned them into a very fine flour. You could have them a bit chunkier if you want to, but because my little daughter loves to eat these cookies, I like to have it quite fine. So I've just got a dehydrated tray, and the cookie mixture is going to go straight onto the tray, so you don't need one of those Paraflex sheets to go onto this. And they actually dry quite quickly, within about 4 to 8 hours, which doesn't sound quickly, but with the dehydrated that's great. So I'm just going to scoop up balls of this and sort of mould it in my hands. You could use a cookie cutter, but I like big chunky cookies. And then I'm literally going to shape them like this, then pop them onto the dehydrator sheet. Get another, you could make them bigger. The ones I've already made, they're quite sizable. I can't wait to eat them. So just mould them with your fingers. And then what I've done to each of the cookies that I made last night is I've just made an indent in them, because what we're going to do is we're going to put a really delicious midnight chocolate topping on them. So that's all you do. You get all the mixture, mould it into cookie shapes, and then you put it on the dehydrator tray. And then I would put it on, I think I put mine on overnight, but you could just put them on for 4 to 8 hours and they should be just nicely dried. Or if you want them chewier, then have them on for less time. Oh, right, I better not eat those before I put on the topping. So what I've done is I've gently melted some cacao liquor, and this is 100% raw and organic, and it smells divine. It's basically, you can get this in supermarkets, but the only difference is it will be toasted or roasted. It will be roasted cacao beans. This is 100% raw, and it just smells amazing. I'll put that in there for later. And we've got some cacao butter. I've melted both of these together into this beautiful, dark, syrupy, gorgeous, yummy, buttery stuff. And then we're going to put in some white almond nut butter. I'm just going to put in a big tablespoon of the nut butter. We're going to mix that in a minute. And then also in the topping, I'd like to have some more of the carob nectar. So I'm just going to pour in about 2 tablespoons worth. I mean, this is a very delicious and decadent topping. It's all raw, it's all lovely. This is a treat for me. I have this in moderation. I might have 2 or 3 of these. So. Okay, so then we've got some lucuma. I'm going to put some lucuma in as well. I find that when I'm using butters, like cacao butter or the cacao liquor, if I have other ingredients, it kind of makes everything sit nicely within the mixture. If you just have, if you have the cacao butter melted and just put agave in, for example, when it sets, the agave nectar seems to sink to the bottom. So we'll mix about 2 tablespoons worth of lucuma in there, and that will do. So I'm just going to mix this all together, and this is going to be the topping for our cookies. If my daughter was here, she would lick the spoon. So if you've got little ones, let them be involved in this part of the process. And then each cookie, you can see they've got an indent in them. We're going to fill that indent with the delicious chocolatey, nutty, syrupy goodness that I'm mixing up here. Okay, so this is nicely mixed. I'm just going to put a little bit in each indent. Oh, that looks so lovely. I guess these would be great for parties or soirees. Entertaining guests, if you serve them one of these cookies with a nice nut milk, you'll have them won over in no time. And if you're going to use carob nectar as your sweetener, then you don't need to use too much, because it can taste, the more you use, the sweeter it gets, but it's a very intense sweetness. Oh, this looks so lovely. It reminds me of those little toffee, I think they were called toffee, and they were like they had little indents in and they were filled with chocolate. But this is a very, very good alternative. Of course, there's no toffee in here, but they're just chewy and crunchy, and well, I put a bit of extra one in this one. So, and what I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to quickly sprinkle on some shelled hemp seeds, just so that, like my version of hundreds and thousands, and I'm going to pop them in to the freezer just for, I would say, about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to eat one of these, and it's going to be delicious. So I hope you have fun making yours. I hope you get your family involved in the making and creating of your cookies, and let me know how you get on. Bye!